We are going to do this. Uh, hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mia Hall, and you are tuned into Brown Girls Glow Live. I am so happy to have a very special guest with me, and I'm going to introduce her in just a second. I just want to let you know what Brown Girls Glow Live is all about. So, Brown Girls Glow Live is really a show that honors people in the workplace, women of color, and really we target young women and young Black women specifically, um, and let them know that they can have faith on their journey. They can have God, they can depend on Him. And we really try to teach people what we didn't know as a teenager, right? So there were so many things that were taught in school, but a lot of things weren't taught in school. So I wanted to create a series to where we talk about, what we learned outside of school so that maybe some people can avoid some of the mistakes that we had and we can leave some clues. They say success leaves clues. So we were able to, achieve a lot of our dreams. And, we want to be able to help young women do the same. So I would like to thank you all for tuning in. Of course, subscribe to my channel. We want you to hit the notification button. Make sure you know when I'm going live next. And we want to make sure you like and comment on this video. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you have any questions. I definitely, have my DMs open, and Chivon has already told me that she has hers open too. So feel free to send us any messages or any questions if you have it after the live. All right. And so, without further ado, I would like to welcome Chivon Anderson. Woo!
Hey, sis.
All right. What's up? What's up? I'm going to end IG. See you guys. Just because could join us on YouTube, please. Thank you. um, I'm going to. Ooh, I wonder if I should share it. I'm gonna wait. But yeah, so yeah, Chivon Anderson, I have known her for now since 2002. So that's about 21 years I've been knowing Chivon.
A long time. That's an adult. Our friendship is adult. As an adult.
Right. I love that. I love that. Our friendship is able to drink. Nah.
Absolutely. It's legal.
Our friendship is
Legal
legal
age
now.
friendship.
So, you know what I mean? It's like, you really can't tell our friendship nothing. You can't tell our friendship nothing. But yes, I met Chivon on the campus of the illustrious, esteemed Hampton
University.
Hampton University, formerly known as Hampton Institute and formerly known as Hampton Normal and Agricultural.
No, thank you. Minor details. Hampton University.
Listen,
Thank you.
I love my HIU. Okay.
And I love my HU. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Hilarious. But yes, we met on Hampton's campus our freshman year. And we have been rocking out ever since. We even had our own Flossy Posse before they had a Flossy Posse. We had the Fab Five, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Shout out to the OG crew, you know what I mean? Shout out to the OG crew.
Mm-hmm.
And we really, I feel like solidified. I know that we solidified our friendship through faith, actually.
For sure.
Chivon right now is, since then she has gotten 2 master's degrees. She has her own consulting firm, Chivon G Consulting. She has Shiv's Gym. She is a minister, has done ministry probably for longer than 20 years. She has been doing ministry since before she went to college. Whether she even had a Proverbs 31 ministry at school, while I was there. And shout out to whoever's watching live. We appreciate you. And feel free to leave comments because we can put those up on the stream. But yeah, so Chivon has been in ministry for a very long time. But we connected initially because we were going to noonday prayer. she she's rolling her eyes because the story of how we got there. I don't know if Siobhan necessarily wanted to go the first time. I think that we were going, but some way, somehow, she came with me and Aaliyah Slappy. And the rest was really history after that. I mean, that even that first day that we went to noonday prayer all
Mm-hmm.
together was just God captured us, and really has not let us go, really since. So I'm so thankful for that opportunity. But I know I've been speaking a lot. Siobhan is an educator. I just wanted to let y'all know, that she is an educator. She is in a middle school right now, but not only in school, like I said, in church, in ministry, in her own consulting firm. She is an author, a few times over at this point. Um, she has two beautiful children, a husband. She is one of, how many siblings? I think she has like six.
Six.
She is one of
Six of
seven.
us.
So yeah, she comes from a big family, big loving family as well.
Mm-hmm.
She is a Brooklynite like myself. So so we were the
Indeed.
two Brooklyn girls in the crew. We had another sister. Well, we still have, Tia
Mm-hmm.
she's from New York. She's from the island. She's from Strong Island, but we were the two Brooklyn girls, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just been a great time to see her grow. So Siobhan, I'll start out, with asking you, who is Siobhan, right? They love to ask these questions of who is Siobhan Janice Kelly Anderson. if,
Not the
if
whole gov. The
if
whole government name.
out there.
Um, that's always such an interesting question to answer. Who am I? Who are you? And I would say that before anything, I'm definitely a woman of faith. I consider myself a kingdom ambassador.
Amen.
I am a proud Christian. That's who I am. That's how I live my life.
Mhm.
Um, those are the principles that I follow. I am a visionary for sure. I can see the vision. I'm a creative. I'm a multi passionate creative as well. That's
Mhm.
just some of my gifting, and sometimes that causes me to jump the gun because I'm like, it's here. I see the vision. Let's go here. Okay, well, there's these different steps first. Wait, follow the vision, and then get there. So that's how who I am. I am a mom. I am a wife. I am a daughter. I am a sister. I am a friend. Um, but yeah, I think that about sums me up who I am. I would like to say a kingdom ambassador, but definitely a visionary and a multi passionate creative. I think that right there is who I am at my core. All the other titles are those that I've adopted along my journey, of course, coming in through being a daughter and then a sister, then a wife, then a mother, a friend throughout the years. But kingdom ambassador, visionary, multi passionate creative. That's who I am. Empowerment and education, we go together real bad. Real bad. I go
Mhm.
together with that real bad. So you
I
can find me anywhere, educating people or empowering people. Those are my spaces.
Amen.
Hmm.
Amen. I love that. I love that. Absolutely. All right. Amen. Okay. Well, now where did this passion for empowerment and education come from? Like, do you remember, can you pinpoint a time where you first like knew that you wanted to, empower and educate?
Empowerment, I can't pinpoint the exact moment for empowerment. I just know that um, by nature, people have generally been drawn to me,
Mm,
and those who are drawn to me are normally in need of empowerment. Maybe they're
mm,
in a transition. Maybe they are not feeling the most confident. Maybe they've experienced some heartbreak or some disappointment where they need to be encouraged and empowered, to kind of get back on their journey. Leaders who are exhausted and tired, find
mm,
myself doing that, and that's just kind of how I not only found myself, it was kind of my greatest joy to sit down
mm,
one on one with typically a girl or a woman,
mm.
um, and remind them of who they are because sometimes you need people in your life that can remind you of who you are when you can't see clearly. right?
Mm, yeah.
And that's the space that I love to occupy. So watching people come into my space and not be confident and be sad or heartbroken and then leave, like, you're right, I could do that. I could totally, yes, you can. You can do whatever you want. And then
Uh,
specifically education, I know for a fact. Um, Let me just clarify. You said it. You didn't put my business out on Front Street. And anyone who knows me for a second, it's not hard to know I'm a church girl through and through. This is who I am. Like, it's who she is, and I'm grateful. It's
hey,
kept me from a lot. It's kept me from a lot. I got yoked up young, as one of my sorors says. We got yoked up young because God knew
mm-hmm.
we couldn't be out in these worldly streets just without the help that we needed. I digress. But education specifically was vivid for me. It was in October of 2018 that I was praying, was on the altar, and I was praying specifically, just kind of like releasing to God. And I heard education is like teacher. I said, never in my,
Mm.
never in my life, never in my life did I want to be a teacher. I didn't even really like school like that, if I'm being honest. But within a month, because that's just how radical I typically am when I'm making a face move. Within a month, I quit my job that I had
Mm,
just become permanent on, but it was temping. Just became permanent. They were like, "Are you sure? Yep, gotta be a teacher." Gotta be a
mm,
teacher. And literally left November 2018. I began my journey as a substitute teacher,
mm,
and I've been able to navigate almost every space as a substitute teacher, as a consultant, advisor, administrator, and then full time teaching is where I am now. But that's where my passion started. There, once I got into the school system, and ironically, I started in middle school. And I said, "Oh, that's the." And middle school, if you don't know, is the age group that everyone runs from. Educators don't like to teach middle school, okay? Because you either
mm,
like really, really love it or really just don't like it. And for me, I'm like, these are my people. Come,
uh,
come, come. And then I find myself here now. So I've had a very vast journey where I've been able to partner with parents. I've been able to partner with administrators. I'm able to be on the staff side, supporting students and being a liaison between them and their teachers, and then being on the teaching side. I am a special educator. So helping students navigate that, which is not easy. A lot of people go through their educational journey from K to 12, not understanding exactly what disability they have, what
mm,
accommodations work specifically for them,
right.
and not even knowing that those accommodations can carry them through both college and career as well. So
Mm,
I'm pretty passionate about that. So from
mm,
2008 to 2010, substitute teaching. 2010, working in higher education, had the opportunity to work at our alma mater, where my passion for education really, like, helping students and helping people navigate through their journey, through their college journey, of course, because that's where I was. But then noticing so many people coming in so lost,
mm,
and I can attest, I was one of those people who came in. I didn't even know I was lost. That's the sad part. I didn't know.
mm,
I didn't know I was lost.
uh,
But helping people be able to navigate their journey and understand that their journey is their own. It's unique. It's not one cookie cutter way to get to success. And then also understanding what is necessary to navigate your journey. So that's kind of where it all began for me. But so that was significant. Empowerment forever. 2008, 2010, locked in. Ain't no switching up.
ain't no switching up. And we locked in. Come on,
Ain't
son.
no switching up.
Side. All right. All right. No, I love it. I love to hear it. I love to hear how that happened because really when you okay, this show is for for my high school girls primarily.
Hmm.
I know that of course this is open to everybody, who wants to listen. But I know that in college, you were doing PR for a minute.
Hmm.
You were in the scripts, how
Hmm.
esteemed,
Hmm.
like Hampton is esteemed. And then if you get into the scripts, Howard, School of Communication, you're extra, you got the extra sauce on the esteem. So you did that, but I want to talk about even before you went into Hampton, that high school experience. um
Mm.
know, I know it's unique, of course, wherever you come from, but there are some, similarities, across the board, for being a young woman, a young black woman, a young woman of color. But what is your like high school? What was your high school journey like, and how did you, how do you feel like you? I don't want to say survive, but how did you, how were you able to thrive and, be successful in high school, even in your own estimation?
Mm. So high school was really, really interesting for me. Looking back on it, I definitely didn't live up to my potential in high school at all. I
Mhm.
went to a summer program. I'm not sure how I found myself there. I've never been to summer school before high school, but I was there in some kind of. Oh no, there was like a pre-program
Okay.
for my high school, so I was there, and I remember being approached by a track coach. They're like, "Oh my gosh, you look like a runner." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, okay, no," and I'm like, "I want to be a cheerleader. I want to be a cheerleader." So I was a cheerleader. Early on, I got the social bug. So I'm like, yeah, of course, I'm a cheerleader. So I'm talking, I have my inner team, and then I'm talking, have some friends that I connect with, really, really lovely. Um, some high points from college, from high school. I remember that I was the first and only Miss Paul Robeson.
Oh
Did
wow!
I was participating in our inaugural pageant, and I got to see some sides, some different sides. And although I was crowned the winner, it was an interesting journey, which mirrors my life a lot. So that was the social part, but that's a big thing because I often, oh, you never heard that, right? You've never heard that before.
Oh no, I
Uh,
never.
I
I
think
know you
some
went to
pockets
Rome,
of
but
my
I didn't know. Yeah, that you were
right. Yeah,
Rose.
that was the first pageant, and it was supposed to be an annual pageant. I don't know what happened, but that thing got shut down. So I was the one and only. And the
Wow.
thing that was that was kind of stand out with that is I was so classically me. People did songs and all of that, and I did Maya Angelou, phenomenal woman.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I did that in my African attire, and
Yes.
everyone else had like long, slinky gowns with a high split, and I had on my eighth grade prom dress, which a nice Cinderella-esque, because Brandy is life, a nice
Uh-huh.
Cinderella-esque gown, and very. When I look back at it now, like a little childish, but that's what the people wanted, and that was
Hey,
really, really good.
you
So
won.
to have that experience, that's that's a bittersweet experience, but that was a highlight because that's how I started. And then from there, I really was not taking academics seriously. I'm not even gonna lie. I was not
Okay.
taking academics seriously. I was kind of like just whatever, like really just whatever. But I was still on that the cusp of the age group that knew they were going to college. Like that was it wasn't even like, oh, I think I'll go to college. No, we go to college. This is
Mm,
what we do. But
mm,
I know for a fact that I wasn't prepared because not because I wasn't smart, but because I had not practiced
mm,
being a scholar. In
mm,
high school is where I fell off a lot. And I didn't
mm,
know I'd fallen off so bad until
mm,
junior year, and they separated us. And my friends were like in AP classes, and I was like that. They were in the
mm.
honors classes, and I was not. And I said, "Hold on, wait a minute.
Wait,
I know,
hold
I'm an
on.
honor student. Possibly, however, your grades say you're not, so you're going to sit over here in this class." And
Mm,
I never forget. I'll never forget my college advisor. Love her down. Wish I was better with keeping in contact because she is the reason I went to Hampton University, hands down.
mm,
Because when it was time to make that move for college, I didn't know where I wanted to go. I wasn't really versed on HBCUs, even though I am of the Cosby Show, different world era. I did not know anything about HBCUs. But what I did do is I stayed in my college advisor's office,
mm.
and she really liked me because she let me hang out there. I wasn't
Right.
cutting class there. We're not doing that. But my free time was spent there, and I was able to like kind of look and play around. But I took it seriously when I found Black Enterprises issue that had the top 50 colleges for Black
Oh,
students,
interesting.
and obviously Hampton University was like, top five. So I said, oh, let's apply for this school. Like literally, I looked at it, and this list was compiled of colleges that students of color, black students
Okay,
would
black students, right? Black enterprise, right?
black students would actually thrive. So
Mm,
there was a space for them to go get their hair done. There was good eats near there. It was a reputable
okay.
institution. All of that. So that was the list, and that's kind of how I found Hampton University.
Mm,
Hampton University was on my list. Morgan State was on my list. Spelman was on my list. And it was kind of like, that's it. I'm from New York. So, of course, it's like, oh, you should apply to all these schools. I'm not interested. Because what I knew for sure is the people at the different world told me that you go away from college. That's what they told me. So like you got to go away. But
okay.
I know for a fact I was ill prepared, and I almost, because I'm very very stubborn. Some things don't change. I was told, I was like, well, I want to go to this school. Well, it's not like and I told you how my grades were, so it wasn't like I was getting funded to go to the school. And
Right.
I'm looking at my parents like, what happened to that stash of money that y'all supposed to have for sending me to school? The audacity was at an all-time high.
Right, right.
But I
Like,
was
wait.
also stubborn, so I had scored, and I told you I didn't get good grades, not because I wasn't smart. So I scored pretty high on the ASVAB, which is the exam that you need to take, pass to join the military. And some
Mm,
Navy recruiters came to my house, and I said, you know what? They sold a good game. They said, when all of your classmates are just finishing college, you would have already been on the track. You already have your own career, your own house, your own car. I said, this sounds like this is the path for me. And my
right.
college advisor, she said, do not sign anything.
Mm,
Bring all your paperwork here. Don't
mm,
sign anything. If you sign that paperwork, don't come in this office.
uh,
I said, "Hmm, why
okay.
so passionate? Why so passionate?" But she said, "No,
Uh,
you are going to Hampton University." And I
wow.
was able to come back. My parents allowed me again. Audacity was at an all-time high. They probably shouldn't have let me go. I'm grateful. Great experience, but they were like, "No, your grades, you need to stay right here and go to a 2-year college and think about what you've done in
uh,
high
wow.
school." But I'm
Wow.
so grateful for that. So that was my high school experience. And to be honest, one of the reasons I sit in the seat that I sit in right now is not because of all of the things that I've done right. It's because of all of the things that I did wrong and what I learned from that that I want to help other people avoid. I don't
Mm,
want you to waste your high school years and then get to college and figure it out. College is too expensive to figure it out. You need to
right.
know what you're wanting to do and then understand what works for you. Don't follow your friends. Okay, your friends are going to a 4-year college, but if you hate school, should you do that? You can, if you assess what your end goal is, but is there another way to get there, right? So that's exactly why I exist in this particular space, because of my trajectory from high school to college. It was not
Mm,
the quintessential thing. I did not have the help. Although I wasn't the first generation college student, I was the first one to go away to school.
okay.
So no one was there to help me navigate that process. I kind of did that on my own.
Mm,
And I'm grateful I had good support systems, but I basically figured that out on my own. So yeah,
okay. Okay. And that's why you do what you do now. I love that.
that's why I do what I do. I'm like, come on, babies, let me help you. You sound just like me. Come on, let me tell
Uh,
you the things that the folks didn't tell me. They didn't tell me that. They see, nobody told you, right? Yes, come on, let me help you. Come.
exactly. And that's exactly why I wanted
Yeah.
to, and that's why I sit here too, because I want, young women to know, like, listen, you know what I mean? These are some of the things that, they might not share with you.
Hmm.
Okay, so we're talking about college planning with a purpose. Um, you know, um, what so now, okay, so you got your counselor, right? She's telling you, she's telling you what it is. She's like, you come here with that, other stuff. I'm not even, gonna acknowledge it.
Can't even
She's
you.
like, you're going
Hmm.
to Hampton. So, you get to Hampton. How did you pick, going into PR, and, what were your plans with that? And yeah.
Uh, Another interesting thing, because I didn't know what I was going to do. I had no clue at all. Public relations, in my mind, you talk to the people. I talk to people. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I can do public relations. I thought
Right.
about broadcast journalism for a moment. Then I was like, no, I don't really want to do that public relations. And at the time when I majored in public relations was still a field. People who were being successful in my field, they didn't go to college to study public relations. Now
Mm,
that's a big thing. People know what it is. They know publicists. They know all of that. But that
right.
wasn't a big thing when I went to college. Probably dating myself a little bit, but it is what it is. Um,
Listen, when
I
we
happened to
went,
talk to somebody, and they were like, "They're gonna do this," and I was like, "Oh, I should do that too. Sounds good."
and then you went, okay, took the test.
And I
Listen,
did
y'all,
it, and I
it was not
took the
easy.
test. I
It
I
wasn't an
told
easy
you it
test.
wasn't because sis wasn't smart. She just wasn't studying.
Yeah, it just wasn't studying. Right. Okay. Okay. I see. I
So
see.
took the test, and I don't. I my only regret um, is I think knowing what I know now, I probably should have went into business and
Mm,
seriously went through that avenue. But I don't regret my time because, as you said, Scripps is pretty reputable, and a lot
mm,
of people who do what I do or are just creative in the way that I am, they're like mass comm majors, whatever it was called at their school. That's what they do.
mm, mm,
So that's literally how it happened. Like I was talking to somebody, you know what you major in? Have no idea. Oh, you should try this. Oh, okay, sure.
yeah.
It's the lack of
Yeah.
originality for me. I
uh,
really
uh,
had no clue. And it isn't until even I'm talking to you right now that I realize exactly how clueless I was. I was
uh,
clueless. Like the fact that I even went to college and survived.
the Lord speaking of how you got over. You know what I mean? How did
Hmm.
faith play a role in your high school success and going into college? I know that that's like a
So
it's like everything, but if you could share something that might help a high school girl out, like why should she keep the faith and attach themselves to a faith community when she's in school.
I think this is a essential message for both my high school experience and my college experience. Me having a base and a faith foundation kept me out of a lot of stuff.
Mm, mm,
You weren't gonna catch me in somebody's house doing stuff that I had no business doing because it wasn't even because my parents were strict and they were. Um, it was because I
but,
knew me and God was locked in.
mm.
And and it doesn't mean that I did everything right. I was certainly not a goody two shoes, despite what my name might say, right? But um, that was my core, that was my center, and that was so pivotal because I rededicated my life. And when I say rededicated my life, I was a churchgoer. I was baptized when I was 7. I was a churchgoer, but at 14, I rededicated my life where I was taking the realm and like, okay, I'm going to church on my own accord. I'm studying the word on my own accord, not because my parents said, let's go do this. I'm getting an understanding of what tithing is and what to do there.
Mm,
But I was very, very active in my church as well. Um, and I'm pretty talented. So when it was time to do things, I would raise my hand and I would do it.
mm,
Um, that didn't always go over so well because I looked like on the outside like a show off, whatever. And that's important because I experienced some hurt, which caused me to tell God specifically, I'm doing my own thing in college and I'll holler
mm.
at you after I graduate. That
Wow.
lasted all a semester. I was like, God, I'm sorry, we rocking together. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Ah,
So it was pivotal for me. And I don't think I missed out. I think that God knew what I needed, and I was covered through both my high school journey and my college journey because of my faith.
mm,
It paused me, right? Because I had a little while now in me, and it paused me so I didn't go to the other side. There was always, it was always my faith that would check me when I would go
mm,
too far. And
mm,
that's in different things. It's not about, oh, I'm out here wilding out, but even in relationships, you didn't have to say that. That was real mean. You need to go apologize because you can't
Yeah.
just cut people off that way. All of that
Right.
was pivotal for me. I think that if I didn't have my faith and my faith community, definitely in college, I could have slipped into a really, really bad depression because I was so disconnected with school um, that it was really difficult for me. And from someone who's used to not studying and just getting all A's to start seeing C's and like, oh, is that a D?
Mm,
Yes, a
mm.
D because you did not study. That's why you got a D. Stop
Uh,
playing. Act like you
uh,
don't know. So it was kind of that thing, but that really helped me, pulled me, pushed me, and it was a safe space for me when I needed it as well. So
mm,
I became the person that people would come to, like, oh, can you pray for me? Can you do that? I'm like, excuse me, I'm trying to live my life. Ain't nobody trying to pray right now. But
uh,
once it's in you, it's in you, and it played a pivotal role in my life. I've always been pretty bold, um, but it was my personal relationship with God that allowed me to be bold and not ashamed. You couldn't come at me with any kind of foolishness because I wasn't scared of nobody. Okay,
uh-huh,
so like peer pressure missed me with that because this just
uh,
looked dumb. Now there's some stuff I'm like that look like they might be kind of fun. Let me try that out. But as far as peer pressure, missed me because this is silly.
uh,
I have to prove nothing. So yeah,
I love it. You was in the army of the Lord and wasn't
I
really,
was
recruiting you for any other gang. You was with the, what I'm saying,
was
with
was
Jesus, with the
was.
Jesus.
And then if you came thinking that you were in the name of the Lord and spitting foolishness, I will tell you about that as well and where
Mm,
you could go. Because no, ma'am, and no, sir.
uh, uh,
I
uh,
digress.
Okay, okay. Now I want you to talk a little bit about because in school, and I know we're really college focused, but but I was a witness, you know what I mean, with you right there. So how did Proverbs 31 ministries get started? And I know you hosted a conference, at least, while I was still there too. I went to a conference that you were doing. How did that come about and your leadership there come about?
That's interesting that you say that about the conference because I have not didn't have no recollection of the conference until you said it, and then I could see it. I'm like, wow. Um, Actually, the Proverbs 31 was started, I believe, 2 years before we got there.
Okay.
Excuse me, by my big sister at the time. Um, she started it. Avery,
Yes.
she started
Avery.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when we were freshmen, Sarah taking it over. And I was like, oh, that's cool. For me, I'm used to being active. I'm used to leading. So once I got my life right and was decided I was actually not gonna wild out in college. I um I was committed to being active with the Student Christian Association. And I remember they're like, okay, do we have anyone who wants to lead Proverbs 31? And I stood up. Someone else stood up too. So we ended up co-leading. Me and Tiffany ended up co-leading Proverbs 31, and that was such a pivotal time because it was such a classic um, young Christian woman thing that we were going through. We would just be going through different things, and um, sometimes when you're in a leadership position, you're going to feel different attacks first. That's both naturally and spiritually. You're going to feel the attacks first, and sometimes the attacks falsely make you think that you're not qualified
Mhm.
because you're getting this like, how can I be here? I am doubting myself. How am I going to empower the people? And I can't even empower myself. So we had moments like that where like, you went through that, you went through that too. Oh
Uh,
shoot. And then we
uh,
would come together and then it would be a real powerful move. But it was literally just kind of doing the thing that I've done all my life. No one
mm,
else would do it. Oh, sure.
mm.
It was literally, just that. I believe it was, God's timing to do that. But that was probably um, the first legitimate opportunity, not legitimate, but the first opportunity on that scale for me to bring both my
Mm.
the empowerment space and the faith space together. So that
Okay.
was pretty pivotal for me.
Okay. That's awesome. I love that. And look where you are now, still empowering and ministering and educating. I love it. Okay.
Indeed.
All right. So before you left school, I mean we going through the, pretty much the journey of what led you to here. And I'm still, want to focus on our, the theme, which is college planning
Hmm.
with purpose. Uh, you know, um, so that's what you teach people now, right? College planning with purpose.
Hmm.
Um, as you were navigating, before you graduated, you also met your husband. I
Hmm.
don't know if y'all met before you started going to college, because I remember in college one time when we were home, I guess in New York, somehow, some way we saw him, at the train station that day, and she was like, "Oh yeah, that's my friend." But you were able to, you know, um, meet your husband in college,
Hmm.
um, get married. How did you and your husband meet? Let me say that.
So we met um, at his church, actually, during the summer. I was speaking at their graduation Sunday. I think this was like the summer of my freshman year, like after my freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
So is that accurate? Yes, that's accurate. Met there. I was speaking. This is what I do. Um, I love the consistency for me. Can you remind you? You
Because
remember different things that you did? Like
yeah,
you,
like yeah,
you really are not new to this. Like oh, this is
college,
really nice. So
yeah.
I was speaking there, and we met. Just the classic, like, hey, have I? I thought I have I. Do I know you? Know. And I was anti. Let me tell you something. After freshman year, I was like, miss me with any person trying to get to know me.
Uh,
I'm uninterested.
all right.
So we had exchanged numbers, and I didn't call because again I wasn't interested. Um, and not just him exclusively, just anyone, just
All right, right.
not interested. But we then began to talk. I think we met through a neighbor of mine, and she reminded me like, "Hey, he asked about you again." I'm like, "No." Because I was just
Uh,
so anti. I was like, "Okay, I'll call. I'll call." And I happened to call right before I went back to college, and we were on the phone for hours, just talking, 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 talking. Turns out we actually went to the same high school for the first year. Did not
mm.
know each other
Oh, okay.
at all, which I believe was God ordained. Um,
Uh,
it just wasn't the timing. So that's how we met, linked pretty quickly. And when I say linked pretty quickly, like we were just like, it was we really pretty much hit it off pretty quickly. And that's our meetup story. That's how we met.
okay, okay, okay. No, I love it. And you have two children now, so
Do
now even you're helping your daughter to navigate college planning.
the timing,
So
the timing.
so what are you um telling your daughter, and without giving away too much in the book,
Hmm.
if you for those of you who don't know, Chivon has come out with a book, College Planning Decoded, right?
Hmm.
College Planning Decoded. You can get it on Amazon,
Yes.
and you can get it on Etsy.
Yes.
But yes, so what are you, first of all, tell us what the book is about, and then, then we can go into, you have a daughter, that is going to college, that you're helping her, in real
Hmm.
time. So
Hmm.
yeah, talk a little bit about that.
So the book is called College Planning Decoded. It's kind of um, a collection of different things that I've learned throughout my time of supporting students in their transition to college and while they're matriculating in college. So it really is literally exactly that, the decoded. So in there, you'll have a glossary of college terms that you might want to be familiar with, what you should be doing at different points. In your high school career, ninth grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, what you should be doing as you transition, what to look for, in a college when you're narrowing down how many colleges should you start with, what should you narrow it down to, how many should you apply for, how do you know that you have the right fit, is college for you? um, Also, there's a planner attached as well to kind of get you started on a good planning habit. So
Mm,
that's all of what you can find in a book. That is volume one. Volume two will be coming soon, and I plan on doing little mini books as well for specifics. Okay, I'm in high school. What do I need to do? I'm about to
mm,
go to college. What do I need to do? I'm in college. What do I need to do? I messed up while I'm in college. How do I get back on track? So those are
mm,
the volumes that'll be forthcoming. Um, I do have a daughter who is a rising high school senior. So definitely doing this process in real time. And one thing we're looking at, she's already been exposed to colleges. We are Team HBCU. She will be attending an HBCU. She has 107 to choose from. So that's fine. But she's been exposed, and she's definitely not being forced. We are Team HBCU, but she's not being forced to go there. It's just what her natural bend is and where she wants to be. So we're looking at that for her. But what she's done is she's already gone to visit different schools. The goal before we start school again is for her to um, have a good sense of the top three schools that she wants to apply to, having visited them all, and then deciding. One thing that I share with students, that I've kind of like instilled in her, so she's like, I'm waiting for the moment, is when it's your school, you'll know. And anyone who's attended an HBCU or is connected to someone who's attended an HBCU, we go hard for our schools. And that starts with you being on the campus, you embracing the culture of that particular campus, and then embodying, the pillars that school projects. Sorry. So that's kind of where we are right now. So one big tip I tell people: when you go on campus, no one will have to tell you if this school is for you. You will feel it. The school will feel like home. The school, you will feel the love. You will feel embraced, and that's not something that people can make up. Like, I can't tell you good things about the school, and you're like, "Oh, that's great." But when you experience it, if you're on the campus and you're experiencing the welcoming people and things like that, you're like, yes, this is my school. So that's the biggest thing that I tell people that you'll know. I was happy to
mm.
be able to not host, be a chaperone on the college tour last year. And I asked a student, I'm like, hey, one student was like, this is my school. This is it. This is what I was looking for. It's everything. And someone said that they wanted to go to the school. So I asked, hey, how do you feel about this particular school? And they're like, I don't know. I said, but you should have felt something. Like, you came on the campus. Was it good? Was it not good? Did you like something? You're not sure. By the end of the
Right.
visit, he said, remember that question you asked? Yeah, yeah. I felt it. Like, this is definitely the
Ah,
school. And like,
yeah,
it's
that's
such a
good.
thing. And then likewise for my daughter, she's like, Mom, we've gone to different schools. I just don't feel it yet. I don't feel it yet. So I know we haven't found the one. There's some great schools, but we haven't found the one, because I want her to have that excitement. I don't want her to follow in my footsteps. Although I didn't do too shabby. Hampton is not too shabby, but I definitely want her to have her own journey.
Okay.
That's important to me. Understanding your journey. I have students who, because I am Team HBCU, they're like, well, what about me? I want to go to community college. What about me? I want to go to an Ivy League. I love helping students carve out their own path,
Yeah.
because there literally is no one way to go to a school. There's not one HBCU. There's not one type of school. There's not you must go to this particular school to get where you want to go. You have to understand exactly what it is you want, and then see the different paths for you to get there, because there's always different paths for you to get there. Like I said, I studied public relations in undergrad, but a lot of the successful people who came to speak to us, they didn't have a college degree.
Hmm.
They're
Yeah.
like, oh, I was a public speaker and now I do this. And, that's
And
kind of
that's
how it
it.
was. Anything is possible for you, but understanding what your what opportunities you have, and then what pathways to get there. So I love talking to high school students, and I do this with my middle school students as well. Some of them grasp it and run, and some of them is a little above their head right now, which is fine. But I love to plant the seeds early, because the earlier the seeds are planted, the more opportunity you have to explore your options and find something that works for you.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, thank you for that.
Of course.
Um, okay, yeah, and I agree. You know that feeling. I had that feeling when I went to Hampton's campus, and I felt I still remember the young lady. I don't remember her name, but I remember what she looked like. That was on SRTs through the recruitment
Hmm.
team.
Hmm.
Um, uh, for the viewers more so than you, but yeah, just like hey, like I feel like she was like my cousin. I'm like I feel like like family here.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like so,
Hmm.
so I really do. I agree, and I'm glad that you get to go through this process with little Shorty. Well, not little no more.
I
She
know.
they're on the way to school. I mean, and not too long from now. So I know
Hmm.
you're very proud, and
I am. I
yeah,
am.
she is making her, aunties, adopted aunties, and I'm sure her real
Hmm.
aunties,
Hmm.
uncles, proud. So shout out to Shawnee. We salute you, young lady, and I can't wait till you find your
Yeah.
school. Um, but yeah, okay. And before we go, because I know I've been keeping you, for a little minute, but thank you for
Of
coming on.
course.
Thank you for talking about your journey. I mean, I know we can
Thank you
stay
for
on,
having me.
what I mean, for hours, but I really wanted you to talk about your college journey,
Hmm.
um, you know, um, and really how you're helping people to navigate their college journeys. Now from your experience, from what you learned. I want you to also talk about. You also have another book out, or is it two more books? I believe. What do you basically have that people are able to purchase?
Right now, there is the College Planning Decoded. There is a journal, She Reigns the Day journal. That's all accessible on Amazon. And then it is a 7-day affirmation guide for beginners. Those are the first three books that have been published. One is just a, not just a, but it's a journal to capture your thoughts. I'm a journal girly. I love pretty things. So nice little pretty journal. But the 7-day affirmation, I know sometimes we talk about affirmations, be positive, and all of that, but actually practicing that is different. So created that to kind of just be something where you literally begin the process of basic I am affirmations, and have an opportunity to reflect both morning and evening, so that that can become a daily practice for you, because sometimes it's not about what we know, but it's what we practice that really changes our life. So that's what that's about. And then the College Plan and Decoded is a nice opportunity for, if you don't know where to start. It was actually um, created because there are a lot of people who may not know, have to navigate the process by themselves, and
Mm,
maybe they have parents that want to help them, but they don't know where to start. That's definitely something that, so that you can look at it together and help navigate that process for you. So little anything that could be confusing for you, it should be found in that book. And then anything outside of that, that's what I'm here for. Then you DM me, you send me an email. We can do our one-on-one session. Some people only need a one-on-one session, that one session that helps set you on your journey. Some people need something that's like frequent check-ins. I provide those services as well. So yes.
I love it. I love it. And so, where can people follow you? Where can people email you?
Yes. So Instagram is Chivon Consulting. And to email me, ShivonGConsulting at gmail.com. If you email me, follow me on Instagram, you'll be tuned in with any updates, any additional volumes to the book that's created, any reminders that you may want to look out for, like the FAFSA deadline coming up, the Common App deadline coming up, and what you should be doing as a high school senior, what you should be doing if you're just starting your journey in high school. Those are things that you can look forward to there. I definitely don't spam you at all. But I like to provide information that's necessary. And then any specific questions, I'm pretty responsive in my DMs for any specific questions someone may have.
Okay, I love that. I love that. Thank you. And
Of
I
course.
always like to ask people, what advice would you give your teenage self? Let's say 16, if you want me to be specific about the age.
16 is a good age because that's when I was tripping. What I would tell myself, the advice I would give myself, my 16-year-old self, is um, evaluate what your daily habits are. It's going to be very difficult to break negative habits. So
Mm,
evaluate what your daily habits are because you think that you have time, but you don't. What you practice is what you're going to perfect. If we're practicing laziness, if we're practicing, oh, skipping out on this homework assignment or that homework assignment, that's what you're going to perfect. So that's the biggest advice I would give. And then also I would say um, to stay true to you. You know, you may lose some friends, and it's okay. Stay
mm,
true to you, and knowing that God is the greatest power. Like literally with him you can't fail. So those are the three things that I would definitely tell myself. I needed a reality check at 16. I
mm,
needed to be encouraged that in my faith, um, that's where my power was going to lie. And then also there may be some things that's changing around you. You stay true to you.
mm,
You're not corny because you're staying true to you. You're not corny because you're not doing everything that people think is cool. So
mm, mm.
yeah, yeah, but definitely that reality check. Like, sis, you see these grades? This is how you
Uh,
want to live your life? You want to live
uh,
your life like this? You want to go to college?
like
Yes,
let's
yes, yes,
get
yes.
it in focus. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Well, anything else that you want to just share with the people before we, close out?
Just wanted to encourage anyone watching this, if you've gotten to this part of the video, that anything is possible, despite the obstacles in your way, despite any upsets or setbacks you think you may have incurred. Anything is possible.
Mm,
Anything is possible. You can do anything.
mm.
And for my faith believers and those who don't know the good Lord just yet,
That
all things
part.
are possible through Christ.
Amen. 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 I love it. I love it. Well, I just want to, before we go, I have something to say that, I want to give you your flowers,
Uh,
because I will say, y'all, Chivon has been a great friend over those past now adult years. You know what I mean? 21 years. She has been like the epitome of a supporter. I always talk about when I do my, talks and empowering young women, young men, anybody. You are the
mhm,
average of the five people that you hang out with the most. And Siobhan was one of those five people in college and very formative years of my life that I hung out with the most. And so, just being able to see her, not only in college, but of course after, and her consistency and her persistence and,
mhm,
sticking with her goals and, her faith and raising her children and, just doing what she had to do to be able to provide for her family, doing what she has to do to live on purpose, live out loud, be bold and, and then being an advocate for Christ is not easy. We're not going to say,
mhm,
that this life, is easy, the life that we choose, and being a disciple, being a Christ representative, being a kingdom
mhm,
ambassador. That's not an easy role. Now you might say,
mhm,
oh, Christian's so soft, blah blah blah, but trust me, we go through it, and I have seen, Siobhan be able to go through things, come through things. You know what I mean? Pray through things, and and still to be here where she is right now, sitting beautifully before you, three-time over author. It's it's just amazing. So I just want to give you your flowers, give you your hand
Thank you,
claps.
sis.
I appreciate you for your support over the years, showing up, at events, whether it's helping out and what I mean, just everything that I've done and things like that,
Hmm.
being my accountability, you know what I mean, and encouraging me. I just really appreciate it. So I just wanted to say thank you publicly and acknowledge you for that.
Mm, I can definitely say ditto. You definitely are the epitome of support, of grace, of love, counting on you to undergird me in prayer when needed at a moment's notice. Like, hey, no, me, like now, right
Yes.
now. And that's been
He's a
really
record.
helpful. And then also seeing all the amazing things that you're doing with Brown Girls Grow and Mia Hall TV, and just continuing to just overcome different obstacles, but just remain so graceful, you know. And
Mm.
I just know that that's because the love of God resides in you, and it's amazing to see and witness and to experience firsthand. So I want to say thank you to you as well.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. And thank
Of course.
everybody for watching. Wow, we almost took this thing to an hour, but that is all
Look at
good.
that.
21 years. We tried to fit 21 years in an hour, y'all. So, I appreciate y'all for watching. Make sure that you share this with a friend, whether they are, especially towards teenagers, young
Hmm.
brown girls, we definitely want them to be able to grow and learn from this conversation. But, with a friend that just, might have some things that they're, just trying to work through, talk through, want to hear some good sisterhood, some encouragement, on their journey. Please share this. Like I said,
Yeah.
like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you next time on Brown Girls Glow Live. Until then, as always, keep elevating. Bye. We'll see y'all soon.
Okay.